how I had plans to record 1,000 of these podcasts. Maybe 10,000 of these podcasts. The number system would include so many digits it would be boggling my mind. And yet death knocks. It literally is knocking at my door. Because COVID rages in my province. We were so worried about few cases earlier in the pandemic, but now it's raging. There's 300 cases in a province of 1 million and change. And going up, and the government's not doing fuck all. They've decided they don't care. They've decided, let it run its course, although they're not saying that. What they don't understand is there are fat people in this world of a respectable age, let's say 50s, who are going to die. Fat people who are going to get nailed by this virus and boom, be in a frozen truck outside of a hospital, slowly decaying as the diesel generator cuts out because they can't keep up with putting more diesel in the generator. That's how I see my future. And everywhere, COVID lurks. Everywhere, we're starting to know people with COVID. And that's never a good sign. Everywhere, death roams the streets. And it's knocking on my door. Not literally. Okay, literally. Death is knocking on my door right now, and I'm telling you, it's fucking annoying. Get out! Get out! Go to my neighbor's house. No, don't. Fuck. Why? I don't want to kill my neighbors. Oh, the lady? No, not the lady down the street. She's too pathetic. The politicians. Go find the politicians and kill them. And none of this Boris Johnson shit. I want them done in. If they're not going to protect us, why should they be protected? They should fucking die. Politicians, COVID should find you and end you. And we should be able to watch your last breath so that nobody else... Anyway. Stop it! There's no place there's no COVID. It's at the curling rinks. You don't even know what a curling rink is. You're listening from India and you're thinking, what the hell is a curling rink, James? I couldn't begin to explain a curling rink to someone. But if I did, dear Indian listener, imagine a bunch of men in kilts, not wearing underwear, standing on a frozen ice surface inside of an odd-shaped barn-like building, with brooms in hand, throwing rounded rocks across the ice, very heavy rounded rocks, into a ring and sweeping the ice to create friction and control those rocks. That, dear Indian listener, you're going to have to look it up. If you're interested, look it up. It's actually an Olympic sport, or it was. It's not really a sport. Throwing rocks is not a sport. Chess is not a sport. It's not. I've curled. It takes skill. It doesn't take athleticism. I mean, if you're going to, fire arrows at a target or shoot guns in a biathlon or whatever it is, that takes skill. But no athleticism. Athleticism is recording a podcast during a pandemic. That's what athleticism is. It's me. The most unathletic person in the world right now, fearing COVID, wondering when it's going to come to kill me. This year is so fucked up. It's so fucked up. It's getting weirder. Now that Trump has left, there's a vacuum of weirdness, okay? He's not really left, but he's been muted by the news organization. I don't have to listen to his fucking face. What we have here is oddities galore. There's a monolith placed in a canyon, in a secluded place in Utah, in mountains, in I don't know how to describe it, but you can't just get there. You have to climb there.
A very curious sighting in a remote part of the country, a mysterious metal structure that offers a lot more questions than answers.
Somebody, presumably an artist, put a metal monolith there to fuck with people, because we didn't have getting fucked with enough this year. Somebody had to fuck with us. An artist said, hey, I'm going to fuck with you and put a monolith there. However, ladies and gentlemen, it is 2020. And in 2020, wouldn't it be just normal for it to be a space alien monolith? However, it has not given anyone any wisdom, because I presume the people who found it and took pictures there touched it. Nothing happened. Nobody disappeared. Nothing, no wisdom. I mean, the wisdom can come slowly. They could grow an extra, brain, an extra penis. Something could grow on them from touching it. It doesn't have to happen eventually in sci-fi and in the very thought of aliens putting a monolith. Why did it have to be a fucking monolith? Anyway, they're not telling anyone where it is because they don't want anyone to go there. They don't want anyone to hurt themselves finding it, but they're going to find out. They're going to find out, and people are going to die trying to find this because so many people, if you haven't noticed, so many people are stupid. At least 40% of the U.S. population is batshit crazy. And by the way, that 40%, even 50%, it's ridiculous. It's like 50 million people in the United States don't believe the election was real. They think it was stolen illegitimately by Joe Biden. And yet they are not in the streets. You know what happens when elections are stolen? People take to the streets for months.
Chaos, outrage, and a demand for change unfolding right now on the streets of Belarus. Thousands of demonstrators marching through the capital city of Minsk today, calling for a fair election and deeming last week's...
But what does it tell you they haven't taken to the streets? What does it tell you? It tells you they don't really believe it. They're just happy living in a fucking altered universe. That's the only way I can explain these people. It's 2020, people. People are batshit crazy. They can't handle shit. Not everybody has a podcast as an outlet, although most people do. Something like, there's like 1 million podcasts now. 1 million. How are you going to find me in 1 million podcasts? You're not. When I started podcasting, there was exactly 68 podcasts. I'm too old for this. This podcasting shit, I'm too old for it. Even though everyone is podcasting during the pandemic. Well, fuck you, people who decided to podcast during the pandemic. Fuck you all. I don't like you. I don't like your stinky little podcast. I don't like the fact that you're trying to use up time. That you thought this was a good idea. It's not. Because you know what? The irony is, people are listening to less podcasts. Why? Because they're not going to the gym and they're not commuting. You're not sitting in a lineup of traffic for an hour and a half going to a job because you're working from home. And then there's Denmark. Denmark, today, I'm reading this like it's a fucking joke. In Denmark, they've culled all the minks, which means they've killed these cute little furry animals. I don't care. They had coronavirus. They had the Rona. And they were spreading the Rona, and then it was mutating in these damn little minks that people were going to eventually be wearing as fur coats, which PETA doesn't like. I don't like. I don't understand why you have to wear fur, why animals have to die. I mean, I have to eat. I have to get my protein. I don't have to wear fur. There's alternatives to fur. There's alternatives to meat. I know. They're called vegetables. So I've been told. I do not like eating healthy, as you know, which is why I'm fucked with COVID. Why COVID's going to kill me. 5 days I have. I get the COVID 5 days. Anyway, all minks in the country of Denmark have been killed. Every one of them. All of them. And they were put in a pile and buried in a shallow grave because nobody wants to dig a 6-foot grave for a bunch of fucking minks. They killed them all. I don't know how they did it. They gassed them or something. Anyway, they're in these shallow graves. And guess what happens? They decompose. They rot. And you know what happens when dead things rot? Well, they get gas in them and they blow up like little balloons, little mink balloons. And they expand. There's so many of these fucking little minks. They're all expanding. They came out of the goddamn ground with the coronavirus mutated in them, which is not what we need. Is not what we need. Right out of the ground. They're back. They're not walking around, but they're back. They're carrying the disease. This is not what we need, 2020. Fuck you, 2020. 2020 bloody fucking sucks. God, it's the worst. I don't know how I'm going to feel about New Year's Eve. How are you going to feel about New Year's Eve? Let me know. I genuinely want to know. Are you going to feel, is New Year's Eve going to be January 20th? The day that, what's his fuck fat ass gets out of office and we're done with racism, we're done with stupidity. At least all the people who are stupid, we don't get to hear about them. They're not empowered anymore. They get to sit in their homes and read whatever the fuck they want on Facebook, but nobody's going to give a shit. They can spread it to each other like a goddamn minks virus. Nobody cares. They don't have a voice anymore. No one's standing up for them. If you're stupid, you die stupid, and no one cares. I mean, what are they going to do? All these people going to Trump rallies, are they going to kill each other? Are there even going to be Republican voters? Are there? I mean, those are the people who are, they're going to kill everyone else. They're going to kill you and me, but they're also going to kill themselves in slightly higher numbers. There's not going to be Republican voters anymore. Is that a good thing? Is that Darwin taking over? Are we all going to stand up and applaud Darwin? Yes, we are. Fine. God, I'm so on edge. I am so fucking on edge.
Sneeze with James Whittingham.
Listen, I was listening to a podcast. It's called The Feed by Libsyn, because I have my podcast on Libsyn, and they have some inside information on podcasting, okay? Something I do. And you know what? Like 25% of listeners admit to listening to podcasts to fall asleep, and that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to fall asleep by listening to a podcast. So I did not have earbuds in. This was last week. I did not have earbuds in. It was playing on the little speakers on my phone, beside my bed, beside my head, on my bed. And I was like halfway through, and they play promos on the show, right? You know, you can send in your promo and get it played, which I'm going to do one of these days. It's on my list. They had this guy doing a voice comment, a voice question. He phoned in and left this comment. He said,
once in a while, it's time for a podcast. Alexa, play Libsyn's The Feed podcast.
I couldn't find Libsyn's The Feed.
He was giving an example. Alexa, play this podcast. Didn't work. Alexa, play that podcast. Didn't work. And
Okay.
you shut up! No one asked you. Alexa, stop. Fucking little piece of... You know, Alexa has not improved. I've had her for 3 years. She has not improved. She is no smarter. She is no more capable. What's with AI? Is it not learning from itself? Because it was playing over the speaker, it started, you know, the stupid little box started playing some stupid podcast. I don't know what it was. So I started yelling at it, stop, 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 stop. And I continued with my podcast. And then I decided halfway through the podcast to put the podcast away and go to sleep, turn out the lights. It was nighttime. And I heard this crunching sound. And it was vermin. It was vermin crunching on the skull of other vermin, a mouse crunching on the skull of another mouse, a rat crunching on a bone. I don't know what it was. And I was certain, because, you see, we had a mouse infestation of 4 mice 2 weeks ago. In the fall. We had them, they come in, they're dead now. I don't like hunting, I don't like killing things. I don't like killing things that could possibly be my pet, but they're vermin. And my mindset changed. I killed those little fuckers. I was happy about it. And I disposed them in the garbage. They're gone now. They're at the landfill. No, that's not true. I put some outside my fence for the other, just as a message. You got to send a message to these fucking mice. I don't want that to happen. They came right in my back door. That's what happened, because my fucking kid left my back door open, and we're at ground level. So waltzed right in, I assume. Because, yeah, that always happens once a year in the fall. But there was no vermin there. There was no, I turned on the light, I turned on my flashlight, and I was certain there'd be vermin there. There was no vermin. Instead, I thought, is that coming from Alexa? I pulled the plug on Alexa, yanked her cord, Ella Hal 9000 or whatever the fuck his name is, and was relieved to find the sound stopped. I thought this jackass on the podcast pranked them? I thought he pranked them. He did not. But you know why? Because I was going to send them an audio feedback thing saying, you got pranked, ladies. You got pranked. You know what? They did not get pranked. Because I did a replay of it. I played that part of the podcast, let Alexa do her thing. And you know what she fucking played? Do you know what she fucking played? She didn't play anything normal. But because I was yelling at her, and my podcast kept playing on my phone, the words got jumbled and she started playing some ASMR shit. Do you know what this is? ASMR shit? What? Why is this a thing? My son is like, oh, Dad, you don't understand. It's big. Everybody does it. It's popular. Well, fuck that shit. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. It's how are people going to be in the world who, listen, it's supposed to chills up your spine and tingly sensations and make the hair on the back of your neck rise. I do not like that sensation. It's the last, during certain sexual acts maybe, but generally speaking, I do not like that sensation. I avoid it like the plague. It's like about as appealing as, fingernails on a chalkboard. So it got jumbled. It got jumbled and started playing some ASMR shit. And the name of the track is on Spotify, and it's called Lipsticks. I don't know if it's lips and lipstick getting smacked, but it sounds like the skull of a tiny mouse being crunched, and here it is. Does that not sound like vermin to you? You're tired, James. You've got insomnia. You're beside yourself. You're trying to go to sleep. It's dark. And you hear this, and it comes so crystal clear from that stupid little speaker box that is Alexa. It's crystal clear. Because it's the frequencies that she produces the best. The high-end frequencies. Fuck ASMR. You like that? You like that? That turn you on? Fuck that!
Thanks for listening.